Japan is all in to one blockchain. Today we'll break it down for you. Project Crypto could start to shift the global power. We'll show you how. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into the show. I want to thank our sponsor, and that is Coinbase. You guys can get your whole crypto journey started over on Coinbase. Very easy to do. Just jump over to Coinbase.com. Future of money is here. A couple of things about Coinbase that you guys can do. First of all, if you use our link, you're going to get up to $200 in crypto just by making your first trade. That's the first thing. But you can also get the adjacent wallet to Coinbase called the Base Wallet. So get that. You can, of course, use our link to help the channel. So we appreciate that. As we are filming this, guys, Ethereum is trying to break its all-time high, holding it around $4,800 right now. On the day, we had clipped just a little above 4,800. So it's very possible we could see an all-time high literally within the day. Here we are recording. If this video gets dropped on Friday, that's going to be the case. Now, we showed you this video about, what was it, almost 5 months ago. And the point is that the Japanese are in a massive move to try to restructure their financial system. And the way that they're going to do it is what we're going to show you guys today in today's video, because it's going to get into a lot of detail I think you want to pay attention to. All right, so a quick post right here from Sota Watanabe, basically stating we're going to bring the whole of Japan on chain. And this is something that he's been talking about for quite some time. Looks like this is going to happen now, guys, and there's a lot to it. Japan's giant conglomerate, SBI, you guys remember who that is all involved in this. And of course, Project Crypto is what is going to be paving the way for this new tokenized world that they're essentially getting into. And we've shown a few clips about Sota talking about Startail. Today, we'll get into a little bit more of that detail. Japan's giant financial conglomerate, SBI Holdings, they're now partnering with Startail Group. So this starts to shift things away from Ripple, believe it or not. A couple of points I want to showcase here. 11 trillion in the Japanese yen in assets under management, and a customer base of about 65 million worldwide, including 14 million in security accounts. So all this, remember, Japanese market is currently number 5, I believe, in the GDP. We looked that up, hovering behind India and Germany. And if you look further into this report, our platform now will enable continuous programmable trading of tokenized stocks, including U.S. and Japanese native stocks. Another possibility, composable financial products integrating tokenized stocks and DeFi protocols. This is something we've been talking about for a while. And you guys that remember this guy, Yoshitaka Kitao. This is the guy that's leading up all of this evolution that's happening in the Japanese markets. And he basically states here, this is all going to be very interoperable, always open and accessible to anyone. Last point he gets on, leveraging Startail's proven blockchain infrastructure and SBI Group's corporate ecosystem spanning finance and the digital space. So this is getting heated in the Japanese market. So what does this mean for the projects that are going to be involved? You will remember the CEO of SBI Holdings as one of the largest and most bullish people on XRP. Obviously, they've been involved in this for quite some time. And this right here was an interesting post by Ripple coming out right after the announcement. And they're talking about this, you know, the SBI is basically bringing in RLUSD to Japan in early 2026. Now, I don't know why they're waiting that long with the fact that we're starting to see the rollout of what Soneium is doing right now. So that is a question mark I would have for Ripple of why not go ahead and roll out RLUSD, start to feather into the Japanese markets as a stablecoin. Let's get into the security ratings here of chains and why Soneium has kind of gone this direction. And if you look right there, top 7, Optimism sitting at number 7 right there, at least in the category of the A rating, AA rating, of course, Ethereum. And as we see, XRP Ledger not in that case. So this is one of the things that I'm looking at right now in terms of how this plays out. One thing to look at is this chart right here. This is the ledger metrics for XRP, and it's struggling at around this 1 million transaction mark right now. If you compare this to what we're seeing right now on Soneium, this changes quite a bit. They have started to skyrocket literally over the this last year, and now holding a little bit over 1 million in transactions. So this might be an opportunity, I think, where we could see Optimism being a play of how this all comes together. All right, before we go into the power moves that are happening that also correlate to this, I want to thank our sponsor, and that is Uphold. This is where you guys can get a ton of staking rewards available, 300 plus different tokens out there. And the cool thing about Uphold is they allow you to actually discover some of the new listed tokens out there, much better than some of the other centralized exchanges. So check out Uphold, a lot going on there, both on the market. Of course, if you want to hold dollars over there, you can do that also, just getting like 4.5%. So use our link down below to get started. All right, so let's jump over to some power moves. This is Eric Trump planning his visit to Japan in September for a crypto push. And this will be a big deal because it's going to showcase a lot of what's going on in general. We're LibertyFi. You guys have seen us talk about this quite a bit. ETH is a position right there, but as you can see, Binance holding a large position right now at World LibertyFi in terms of the market cap. This, of course, all plays into what could be happening in the Asian markets, and that is PlayStation also getting ready to drop what could end up being some big announcements at the Tokyo Game Show. This will happen just around the corner. And Sony launches on the Ethereum network, paving the way for PlayStation. This is another factor that we've talked about before, is that all of this gets into gaming at some point. And that, I think, is where many of these kinds of projects are really going to shine. Okay, let's go over to the Japanese yen because you can kind of see where they're connecting to some of the apps out there. Avalanche in there, Polygon in there, Ethereum in there, and of course Astar, which is Soneium. That is the point, hence Optimism, that plays into this. So this ecosystem's already stoked, and one of the ways that it leads off, of course, right here with a Soneium ecosystem, with their bank. Tied into that, of course, is now a partnership with Morpho, which is lending within the bank. Then you can flow over into the DEX, which is Kyoto. This all plays into it. And then you have vaults coming in with Sake now integrating Super USD. And this is Super is started to move. This is another USD derivative. But the point being is this is already in place. And now we're going to start to see, I think, a lot of growth going forward. Sony even in a position now where they will be launching the bank, all riding on Soneium, back to our point there. And right here, ETH Layer 2 Soneium on Sony. This kind of ties it all together for you guys for the stable yen with Sony Bank. All of this is being digitized very quickly and moving on-chain. And when you think about on-chain, here's Optimism with the Superchain ecosystem, right? It is the OP mainnet, Inc., which of course is Kraken. Then you got Unichain, Soneium right there, Mode, Zora, etc. Guys, this is just pointing that when you look at the growth of Ethereum in general, Optimism and Soneium are the next big movers. So pay attention to what we're going to see. Just taking a look quickly at Optimism. Let me jump over here to the chart. And right now, look at this is on the daily, or actually this is on the weekly. If you even just go back to the March high of 450 versus where Optimism is trading at right now, 78 cents. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just showing you what we're watching in terms of research that is diving into what one of the biggest countries out there in terms of global GDP is getting ready to do on-chain. So pay attention. This usually indicates more movement in markets, and I think that's the thing that is interesting here because the Japanese are market makers. They have the largest holder, or they are the largest holder of U.S. Treasuries. And if they're market makers, and this is kind of an interesting play, if they start to feather out of U.S. Treasuries, what does that do to the U.S. Treasury market? Well, that's where you get into stablecoins, which are now backstopping the U.S. Treasury market as the U.S. stablecoin market starts to export globally. That could be a good transition between the reverse carry trade coming out of Japan and now stablecoins propping up U.S. Treasuries. So we'll get more into this as things go. If you guys are not part of the Diamond Circle, get in right now. It's a great place to get additional content, research. I drop an email in there every week to you guys. Sometimes I'm talking about tokens, sometimes it's about trends, but you can join for free. And of course, follow me out there on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on The Paul Barron Show.